Victory or death! Give them hell!
Good morning, ladies and gents. Back with another Conquerors Blade video. This time around I'm going to be covering the week's patch news. Now this is a talking head video, so just put this on in the background and I will read through all of the updates that you need to know. Before we get into the video though, hit that subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest of Conquerors Blade. So then, Conquerors Blade has just had its weekly maintenance, weekly update, weekly patch, whatever you want to call it. Happens every single Thursday. This time around they have added a few new things into the game as well. Some stuff to just be aware of, and I'm gonna show you two things that you can actually now purchase for the next week as well. A lot of housemates have already purchased this Smugglers Stash and Smugglers Treasure and have not had great results. I am recording this voiceover before I actually record my results of it, so I am not sure what I'm going to get, but I will put the video footage of that in there for you right now so you can actually see what I am getting from it. Each day these we will reset, so you can buy either Smugglers Stashes for bronze or Smugglers Treasure for silver. You can buy, I think it's like 30 of one and 50 of the other each day for the next week. This will end on the 21st, so this will end next Thursday. So you can get artillery pieces, you can get, I think there is a unit attire in there. I think the drop rate for that is going to be very, very low. Silver keys, all that kind of stuff. Like, there's loads and loads of stuff in there that you can get. Crafting materials as well seems to be the big one that most people are getting at the minute. If you are looking for kind of materials, you've got a load of bronze, you've got a load of silver that you kind of want to burn through, then this might be something for you. Don't expect really cool stuff to actually come from these. So like I said, a lot of people in my house that have already done it have not had good luck with this whatsoever. So it is total RNG what you are going to get, but you can try your luck every single day for the next week. Intercontinental Matchmaking. So doctrines are now active while playing Intercontinental Matchmaking, which is currently only available for our North American servers. Leadership docs will not be added at this time. So this was a big thing a couple of weeks ago about the leadership doctrines. Should they come into the game? Shouldn't they come into the game? Apparently they have had a lot of feedback from players saying they should not come into the game at this present time. Whether that changes in the future is anyone's bet, but right now, right here and now, they are not going to be coming into the game anytime soon. So that kind of discussion is over and done with for the time being. Attire exchange discounts. So the Restless Spirit Pike is now 18 Curios instead of 30. Thousand Riders unit attire is now 18 Curios instead of 30. Thousand Riders banner is now 3 Curios instead of 5 Curios. I don't even know what half that stuff is, to be honest. So I'm just reading these patch notes out for you so you don't have to go and actually read them. So there have been a massive kind of balancing and optimization to the bow. Now it doesn't actually say if this is the short bow or the long bow, but from the skills and everything, I think it's the long bow. So charging up basic attacks and mounted attacks no longer requires stamina. Hits or headshots of those no longer restore stamina. A new charge stage is available for basic attacks. You can now shoot half charge, full charge or supercharge. Charging for an additional 0.75 second full charge will activate the supercharge. Supercharge further increases armor pen. We've also changed the damage and armor pen multipliers on different charge stages to the following. So no charge whatsoever, the damage multiplier is 0.22, armor pen is 1. Half charge, damage multiplier is 0.75, armor pen is 1. Oh, that was the pre-change values actually. It is now damage multiplier is 0.45 and armor pen is 0.7, so that's actually a nerf on that. Full charge is 1.3 damage multiplier now instead of 1.5, 0.7 armor penetration instead of 1, and supercharge, the damage multiplier now is 1.3 and armor penetration is 1.25. They have actually nerfed the bow, which does not really make a lot of sense to me in any way, shape or form, to be honest, because not a lot of people play this anyway, and it is not the best of classes, because that's the reason why not a lot of people are playing it, and it has just been nerfed somewhat again. The supercharge is actually doing the same amount, or no, in fact, the supercharge is now actually doing less damage than what you were doing at full charge before. That is madness to me. Adjusted damage drop out for basic attacks based on the distance to 76%, was 50%, so that's a little bit of a buff there, so you can actually shoot a little bit longer and your basic attacks won't suffer. Moving on to a couple of other kind of things is the Varangian guards would lag when releasing skills while in raging onslaught state, so that's now been fixed. That's kind of been mixed in with the bow changes here. Actually, that's a little bit weird. You move slower while charging up basic attacks running arrows, flaming arrow, bock and tip, lightning bolt, and explosive arrow. Melee combat now releases on click instead of on release. So, for all you longbow players out there, that will probably make a lot more sense to you than it does for me. Miscellaneous changes. So we are changing the requirements to receive drops in bandit raids. You will now need a score of at least 400 to receive fame and items. That is really achievable unless you are AFK, which a lot of people do go into bandit raids and just sit there and wait for everybody else to actually finish it off for them. It is a real pain in the arse, and now that is going to hopefully stop because people actually have to contribute to the battle to get the rewards. So if you are one of those people that have been AFKing in bandit raids, I would suggest very highly and very quickly that you don't do that anymore, because you will not be receiving bugger all from bandit raids if you continue to do that. We can now also quickly create units you've unlocked in the unit tree. Not actually looked at that yet. We'll look at that at some point on a stream in the near future. So just a few minor kind of bug fixes, not a huge amount this week at all. So resolved an issue where artillery couldn't be deployed while reloading the musket. Units resolved an issue where the Huskars will sometimes fail to lock onto enemies while using their skills, so a little bit of a buff for the Huskars and their AI, baby. Resolved an issue missing tooltips for some badges and season challenges. Resolved an issue where your mount was not always fully healed after reviving. Resolved an issue where your gamma setting would revert to default, which, yeah, that's really annoying. Resolved an issue where the score wasn't displayed for previous ranked battle seasons. And finally, using unit medals in the unit tree no longer closes the menu. So not a huge week in terms of patch notes. There's a few changes there. There's a few decent things to kind of keep us going for the next week or so. Obviously, the big one is the Smugglers Stash, Smugglers Treasure. Changes to the bow as well, but I think the big one, to be honest, this week is probably that change to the bandit raids, making sure people can't just sit in there now AFK. I think that's a really welcome addition. We'll see how that actually does help out in bandit raids going forward. Thank you very much for watching though, folks. Thank you very much for listening as well. Let me know your thoughts on this week's patch notes down in the comments below. I am trying to do this now every single Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how much time I get on both nights. But it's going to be a weekly thing, so because I know a lot of people don't actually bother reading the patch notes but still want to kind of know what's going on, so I'm going to be doing this weekly now. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, if you could hit that like, sub and share buttons, that would be fantastic, and I hope to catch you out on the battlefield.